Hey kids, just one little kind of fair warning for the first story in tonight's Reddit reading with Frankie. It is a very polarizing one, and it is a very scary one. So if you have any really strong views, either pro or con gun ownership, you might want to skip the first one. Also, it is a debate that went on for nearly 30 minutes between Frankie and I, having conversation back and forth about our feelings on the topic. I did edit quite a bit of it down, but the full back and forth conversation is available as a Patreon-only upload as well. So if you do want to hear more about our views on it, that will be available for our Patreon members within the next couple of days here. On to tonight's video.
Hi. Hello. Hello. This was your fault. You're like, I need to do this. This needs to happen. So, yes. This one's on you. Yes. I miss you. And also, so like every time I open Reddit, it's like I see a post from Am I Overreacting? That's like, my husband, 50 male, told me 20 female to kill myself after I told him he hurt my feelings by cheating on me again. But yeah, I was just like, we need to do this. Next Reddit video, we need to do this. Because yeah, I can't, I feel like, yeah, we need to do this. And I'm glad we're doing it. Yes. Well, and since this was your idea, I think you should start, and you get to go first. Okay, I would love to. The first one, the headline, I'm eagerly awaiting your reaction. Oh, goody. Okay. Okay. Am I overreacting? My husband has become obsessed with guns. He had 3 negligent discharges in our home. He shot himself twice and last night discharged another round in our home. I want the guns out of the house. I don't feel safe in my own home. He refuses. Wait, this is the title. This is the title. Girl, no, you're not overreacting. You're gonna die. The title, Am I Overreacting? My husband. Am I overreacting? My husband keeps shooting himself, and I think he should maybe stop. Am I overreacting? My husband's a dumb fuck. Right. Okay, so like, I'm trying to, because Reddit does this, where your titles will be like, there's a clear answer, just reading the title. Yeah. And then you get into the story, and it's like, I can't imagine where this would get to a point where she's overreacting, but like, because that's not a title. That's all I need to know. Like, that's a story in itself. In fact, it gets worse. She didn't even like. Great. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. I have to pour more Prosecco for this because I'm just. God damn! I'm gonna have to pour something in a minute. Jesus. Yeah. Oh. Ready? Sure. Well, yeah, we'll say yes, I'm ready. God damn. In the last few years, my husband has become obsessed with guns. He went from not owning any guns prior to 2016 to having over 40. What? It's quite a collection of handguns, rifles, ARs, historic war guns that have been used in battle, which that is pretty cool, having historic guns that have been used in battle. Replicas and historic guns, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Especially since, like, historic guns, a lot of the times, you can't actually shoot them anymore. They're just, like, there. Yeah. If I'm going to give him any grace, there it is. Yeah. Exactly. And that's where it ends. And then that's as many fucks as I will allow myself to give about this man. Okay. Yeah. He spends hours and hours every day on the computer researching guns. He wears a gun on him at all times, even when mowing the yard or inside our home. All movies are war-related or gun-involved. It's continuous. I, on the other hand, don't like guns.
but I love my husband, so I let him do what he wants to do if it makes him happy. The problem is he now has negligently discharged a handgun in our home on 3 separate occasions. The first time, he was in his study goofing around with the gun, and it went off and injured his hand. It went through his computer, the wall, and into the guest bathroom.
So, pause. Okay, so two things before we move on, because I can't. Is it just because he thinks guns are cool? Because, like, why do you need protection while you're mowing your lawn?
Yeah.
And, like, if your gun is going through walls, dude, you could kill your wife.
Yep.
So
and
it's not,
it gets worse.
Oh, God, how?
They have kids.
What?
Oh,
God, no.
Yep.
Okay. I've taken a deep breath. You may continue.
I had to take him to the hospital for his injury. The only reason it wasn't reported was because they said the wound was from the repercussion of the gun. Second time it discharged, he shot himself again. Same exact scenario, except this time the bullet went through his thigh, which, by the way, there is a major artery in the thigh. So he could have killed himself very easily.
He very well could have bled out.
Yeah. Back to the hospital again, different hospital. They said he was lucky that it didn't hit his femur. We had a lot of, or make him bleed out. That wasn't in there, but they should have added that.
Right.
We had lots of police at our house. Our children were questioned. That is, like, the only time she mentions her kids, I'm pretty sure.
Do we
Our
know
children
how old
were
these poor
questioned.
children are?
I don't believe so. I don't believe that's mentioned.
Because they're an afterthought.
Yeah. Yep. Our children were questioned, along with myself. It was a big deal. She says that with an exclamation point. Yeah, obviously it was a big deal.
No shit,
dumbass. Yeah.
Fuck.
Last night, we had a third misfire. This time, he didn't know where the bullet went. Our son was sleeping upstairs, directly above my husband's office. I ran upstairs and thought my son was dead. He was so sound asleep, he didn't hear me screaming his name. Yeah. He was facing away from me with his phone still on, not moving. I went wild. When he finally woke up, I couldn't stop shaking. I am now terrified to be in my home.
God.
I don't know what to do. I've asked him to sell his guns or at least move his safe, guns, and all his ammo out of the house, which, again, one single moment I'm going to give him grace. At least he has a fucking safe for them. But the safe doesn't fucking matter.
What does it do?
Exactly. The safe doesn't fucking matter if you're just shooting them willy-nilly.
Right. If you're messing around with them and you're not, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And if you're just messing around with them and you have them just for funsies' sake, why the fuck are you putting bullets in them?
Yep. Yep. His guns, or at least move his safe, guns, and all his ammo out of the house to his very nice climate-controlled workshop. He has refused to do either. I feel like this is a deal breaker for me. I would appreciate any advice. There is an update as well.
Okay.
Update.
Before we get to the update,
okay.
I will say this about Reddit. And I pray to God that is the case here. Pray to God.
That she's lying?
Sometimes people make this shit up. Yep. And there is so much here that is so beyond just being stupid that it's over the top. He has 40 guns.
Yep.
The police have done nothing.
Yep.
On a third call, like on a first call, they'd be like, dude, you need to properly lock up your guns, and there would be some kind of a fine or something. Hospitals would probably have to report this too. Police coming into the house and questioning the kids, the kids wouldn't be there anymore. If he's firing guns and he's not being safe and she's not pressing charges against him, the police would be like, we're going to take these kids out of here. There's so much here that if this is not a made-up story, then there are so many people to be mad at in this story.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, there's so much about this that I have to hope that this is made up.
Yeah.
Because I know these people exist, but the only shred of hope that I hold on to for humanity is that they aren't this fucking stupid. Lay the update on me. I think I'm ready. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Before I share the update, I would like to read the top comment.
Please.
Because this perfectly sums up my feelings as well.
Okay.
The first discharge is a red flag. The second and third is just confirming stupidity. I'm sure it won't happen more than 19 times.
Yeah. Right. On this third time, you thought your son was dead.
Yep.
What do I do? I thought he killed my son. Oh, whoopsies, but I love my husband. Bitch, run.
Yeah, run.
Grab your children and run.
Yeah. You know it's bad when best case scenario is you're a fucking idiot.
Right.
Yeah. When best case is you're a fucking idiot and worst case is you don't give a shit about your kids.
Yeah.
That's bad.
There's not really a good spin on this story.
No.
There's really not.
No.
It goes from awful to scary.
Yeah.
And there's layers in between that, but they're all just as horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a good spin on this, unless your update is, I realize what a fucking moron I am, and I've removed my children from this situation, I'm divorcing my husband, and I'm filing charges against him with the police.
That's not the update. Spoiler, that's not the update.
Great. Of course it's not.
Okay. Update. I appreciate all of the comments. I needed to hear this. Everyone is 100% correct. I have left the house with just my shoes and my purse, so not the kids. And we'll figure out, I just added that, so not the kids.
Right. Yeah, I could tell that was you. Because she doesn't think about her kids.
Yeah, no. And we'll figure out the rest later. I'm having to deal with how I allowed this to happen and want to ensure I take accountability for my part in this. I'm taking a hard look at myself and changes will be made before I return, if I return. Take your kids, bitch.
Yeah. And at the end of your last post, you were so worried that your son was dead, but you left him in that house?
I'd have just not mentioned that part, but I feel like that's very important.
That's a pretty big fucking gap in your story when you were telling us all these details before. That's a very vague update of, I left and I'm going to do some reflecting. So, again, my take on your update is your entire story is either bullshit or you are just as culpable in what happens to your kids as your husband at this point. So, like I said, there's no good way to spin the story. These are just horrible people who should not be allowed to have children. Yep. Or guns. Well, that was fun. Okay, I think I have one that we might want to dig into.
Alrighty.
All right. Am I overreacting? Note to my boyfriend about him treating me badly. Hey, all. I've been a bit unhappy, had some issues in my relationship for a while, but kind of brushed it off over the good times are really good kind of mindset. Due to recent events at a party, I had some friends kind of give me an intervention telling me that the kinds of things he does and says about me aren't okay. I knew deep down they were right, but I didn't want to admit it until I realized I was seen from the outside too. I thought maybe I was being too sensitive about things. I don't want to just end things off the bat. I do want to give him a chance to do better. I also knowingly admit and acknowledge that I'm not perfect by any means, and there's probably things I could work on as well. The biggest issue is that when I tell him his behavior isn't okay to me,
He changes for a few days and then goes back to the way he was doing things before. With the help of my friend, who kind of leaded the intervention, as well as ChatGPT, I made a list of specific things that I need changed in order to be happy, as well as how they affect me. I know there will be people here who tell me to break up with him, but I do want to give him the opportunity to make the changes, as well as let me know what I may need to work on within the relationship, too. I unfortunately will be homeless if I break up with him. It's not a matter of being stupid and committing to moving in too early. It's that I genuinely don't have any other options at the moment due to circumstances out of my control. Please tell me if this note gets my point across or if I'm being too straightforward. Thank you in advance. I think that if things don't improve, I will push for counseling. And so the note. Things that are not okay. Constant criticism or belittling, even when framed as a joke. Being made to feel over-dramatic or too sensitive when expressing feelings over belittling or criticism. Repeated behavior, lack of respect for my boundaries when asked to stop this behavior. Increased belittling, criticism around others, especially my close friends, public humiliation, lack of respect, controls others' views of me. Sharing my secrets despite requests not to, breach of trust, lack of respect, could put me in an uncomfortable and even dangerous situation. Intimidation holds power over me. Lack of accountability for your own feelings, minimizing your words, actions in order to make me question whether or not I'm overreacting, gaslighting, dismissing or ignoring my emotional needs, offer little or no support when I'm visibly upset, offering no aftercare after sex. I am by no means saying that you are a bad person. I'm also saying by no means dismissing all of the good that you do. I understand there will always be rough patches and imperfections. However, these are things that are beginning to significantly impact my mental state and have to change. Most of these are things we have had at least one conversation about. I'm also not claiming that I am by any means a better person than you. I am simply stating that things need to be changed from your end. I am open and able to hear you out on any issues you have from my end. I know these issues will not go away overnight, but I will need to see consistent, conscious effort. Otherwise, I will need to take action.
Babe, this is bare minimum shit.
Mm-hmm.
This is
like, don't belittle me in front
shit.
of others.
Yeah, this is bare fucking minimum shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you joking?
Right. Am I overreacting? My boyfriend doesn't even show the base level of care or concern for me.
Am I overreacting? My boyfriend hates me. Literally. That's what that fucking read as. Like, am I overreacting?
Exactly.
My boyfriend
this guy doesn't
hates
give
me.
two shits about me. Like, you know that it's bad if he's so fucking vile to you that your friends have to intervene because even in public and around them, he treats you like shit.
Yeah.
That means he has no respect for you. He doesn't value you in any way, shape, or form. That he's willing to be, he's willing to be an asshole out loud in front of everybody. That means that this is not, oh, we're just having a rough patch. No, this guy is genuinely just a dick.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah. No, he hates you.
Right. Like, oh, people are going to tell me that I should break up with him. Yeah, bitch. Like, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Because he hates you. The first comment you see is, you really wrote this whole list out and didn't think to yourself, maybe I shouldn't be dating this loser?
Yeah.
But you wrote this out. This is 3 pages of notes. This is notes apps for 3 pages. And you're like, but I don't want to just break up with him. Like, and I understand that you've got like a housing situation, but like, girl, he's been like this the whole time. You could have been looking for a different housing situation. Go to your friends and be like, you're right. This guy is at bare minimum emotionally abusive. I need out. Can I crash with you while I find a better situation? If your friends are coming to you as an intervention because your boyfriend is such a dick, then they care about you and want you to get out. They will help you to get out. That's what they're saying. Is we want to help you get out of this.
Yeah. That's kind of heavy.
So many people have asked me how I managed to stay in my marriage for 13 years. And it's because I didn't
take the time to write 3 pages of notes app about all the things that were wrong in that relationship. And even then, like, I kind of understand how she feels, but like, she's in a place where she's ready to go to Reddit and say, I need a completely outsider opinion on this. My friends think he's a jerk. You know, she recognizes she's being gaslit. But when you're in a place in a relationship where you don't see that and it becomes the new normal, that's how it stays as long as it does. But she wrote this whole ass list out. She recognizes that how she's treated is wrong, then it is back on her to get out.
Yeah.
And go to these friends and be like, you're right. Now help me figure out how. She's so wrapped up in the how of it all, and I'm going to be homeless if I leave him. He's got her so manipulated into thinking that she can't leave, that she feels like she can't leave.
Which, another thing is, like, if Jake and I broke up right now, I would be homeless. But, like,
you just have to find your way to Minnesota. That's all.
And also, like, this girl has friends who would seemingly let her stay with them for a little bit.
Right. They want her to get out of this.
Exactly.
They played a whole ass intervention for her.
Yeah.
Like, those are good friends.
Like How I Met Your Mother.
Exactly. Like, sometimes it takes other people telling us for us to see. And I'm sure her friend said this to her, and then she started thinking and then noticing little things that he was doing, and then she's like, oh, shit, these things aren't right, and they do make me feel bad, you know. And then I don't know how long they've been together, but, like, the longer you're in a situation, it does feel that much harder to leave it. So, like, they're just dating. They have nothing really tying them together other than apparently their living situation. You have all the time and all the ways to get out. And you clearly have a really good support system that you need to be like, okay, then help me get out. Yeah, that one doesn't have an update, but hopefully wherever this poor girl is, I hope she's safe and staying with a friend, and they're, you know, laughing about what a douche nozzle this guy is.
Yeah, for sure. Here we go. Am I overreacting? Dropping my friend because she judged me for crying. I made this account as I don't want my friend to find this because we're in the same community. I, female 17, went on a trip with my grandparents and my friend, female 17, to my grandparents' holiday home for a week. After the week was over, my grandparents dropped us off at the airport so we could go home as they were staying there for another 1 to 2 months. When they were saying goodbye to us at the departure gate, I got really emotional because I wouldn't be seeing them for a while, and I'm really close with them. At the time, my friend didn't say anything to me about it, but this morning, after messaging her good morning, she sent me that message, and honestly, I was offended. I ended our friendship over it. And now, after sitting down and thinking, I'm starting to think I jumped to that decision too fast, and I'm regretting it. What do you guys think? These are the text messages. Friend, why did you cry at the airport? There was really no need. Poster, I'm confused because I was saying bye to my grandparents. I'm not going to see them again for another 2 months. Friend, it was embarrassing though, and you know I'm not good with emotional. Poster, okay, don't project that onto me. I wasn't even loudly crying. Yes, if someone looked at me, they would realize I was crying, but nothing out of the ordinary. Friend, it was just a bit embarrassing in my opinion. Poster, right. If you're going to shame me for a simple, reasonable emotion, then I don't want to associate myself with you. Friend, what? I'm just telling you how I felt. Don't jump to that. Poster, I seriously don't want to be friends with you if you're going to come at me for something so normal. I'm not the type of person to be embarrassed easily, and I don't need someone like you trying to ruin that for me.
Okay, I have conflicting thoughts here. Okay, it's an airport, right? Everybody cries at the airport. Everybody at the airport is coming or going, so you either have crying because they're happy to see somebody they haven't in a while, or crying because they're sad because somebody's leaving that they're not going to see for a while.
Exactly.
An airport is full of crying people. So I completely 100% agree with her that I don't understand why it's a big deal that she cried at the airport. Mm-hmm. But, like, she jumped very quickly to, then I don't want to be your friend also. Mm-hmm. So, like, granted, I mean, the girl was being rude about, like, well, I'm being blah, blah, blah. But as soon as she's like, I don't need to be friends, I'm just telling you how I feel, which, like, you need to be willing to, like, listen to how your friends feel and be like, I apologize that made you uncomfortable. However, it's an airport. People are saying goodbye to people, and there's going to be tears. Like, I'm sorry if it made you uncomfortable, but I'm going to cry when I say goodbye to my grandparents that I love and care about, who I'm not going to see for a while.
Yeah.
But, like, the way, once she got into that part of, like, I don't want to be your friend anymore, she seemed just as kind of rude, honestly.
I feel
the tone of it just shifted and it was weird.
I feel like this is a first for one of our Reddit videos, but I'm gonna kind of have to disagree with you here.
Personally. Well, here's my counter to it. As I'm thinking about it and how she said things, here's my thought about why it comes across as rude. Because this is probably the first of many times they've revisited this conversation.
Yes.
Because, like, she's like, you know I don't do good with emotional.
And also, they're both 17.
Oh, Jesus.
And I don't know if it came off as rude, as, for me, it just came off as, like, firm. You know?
Well, and you're also 21 and I'm 43, so, you know.
Yeah.
My reactions to things are, I've learned to level my response with people because I know how they are.
Yeah.
Which is why, in thinking about it more, that's probably why she jumped to, I'm not going to apologize for how I feel, because she probably has had to in the past.
Yeah. And so, it's also like, the friend was like, it made me uncomfortable, like, okay, and it made me sad to say goodbye to my grandparents. You know, like,
that made me uncomfortable. I'm not going to see them for 2 months, and, you know, here I am standing in the airport, and I'm not going to see them. Like,
yeah, like, sorry it made
your feelings are valid, but guess what? So are mine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Forgot the part where they're 17, too. No, that's clearly a 17-year-old response.
It was very mature for a 17-year-old.
It was.
Be like, these are my boundaries. If you're not going to respect them, fuck you.
Then we're done here. Yeah. And these girls are both, you know, teenagers. They're children, you know. So to be able to, I mean, both of them, honestly, to be able to clearly say, this made me uncomfortable, these are my boundaries, you know, that's good on them for being able to say how they feel. And like, you know, at least now you know this person is not going to be somebody who's going to be a lifelong friend for you, because you differ on some very core values. You are very close with your family, and you're sad to see them leave, and that generates real emotion for you. And this girl doesn't do good with emotional. So you guys probably aren't suited for BFFs. You know, you guys came into each other's lives for the periods that you were, and now you can part ways knowing, hey, it was fun while it lasted, you know. Don't cry because it's over, because your friend won't like it, but, you know, smile because it happened. All right, so I read the title of this one, and then I never read the story. So I just read this, and I'm like, this just kind of makes me want to read this, because, like, you'll understand. Am I overreacting for not giving my parents a dime after they kicked me out at 18?
No.
Are we right? It's like you wanted just the titles. Initial answer. No. So, okay, so here's the deal. My parents kicked me out literally the day I turned 18. No warning, just, you're an adult now. Figure it out. I couch surfed with friends, worked odd jobs, and somehow managed to survive. Fast forward to now. I hit on a few parlays this past year and won some serious cash. 6 figures, and yes, I already withdrew it from stake. Word got back to my parents, and suddenly they're blowing up my phone, talking about family and how they always believed in me and how they could really use some help with bills. I haven't responded to any messages. The way I see it, they made it crystal clear I wasn't their problem anymore when they kicked me out. So why should their problems be mine now? My aunt says I'm being petty and should help them with at least a little since they raised me for 18 years. But honestly, I don't feel like I owe them anything. Am I overreacting for planning to keep all my winnings and not giving them a cent?
No. Not
the
overreacting.
best revenge. The best revenge.
Yeah. Yeah, nope. Not overreacting at all.
The day. Like, you were born at 8:31 p.m. It is 8:31 p.m. Get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Vacate my house like you vacated my womb. Like,
yeah, my grandfather said that on his 18th birthday, his parents gave him a suitcase. And that was, like, their gift on his 18th birthday. And that is very reminiscent of that for me. Yeah. So, no, fuck your parents.
That's
fuck
classy. That's classy.
Yeah.
See,
so, fuck them,
what you would do as a parent is for those first 18, you guide them and give them the goals that they need to be self-sufficient, to be successful. That way, when they walk out the door when they're 18 to go to college, they can come back, but they won't have to.
Mm-hmm.
The top comment here is just fucking chef's kiss. Having children isn't transactional. Your aunt is a moron.
Yep.
I didn't have Maverick so that, I could force him to take the garbage out and, do his own laundry, I had Maverick because I wanted to have a child that I could raise and take care of, and there's not a drop dead date for any person on when they stop needing their parents. And if my parents said, well, you're 18, you can't come back, where would I have gone when I walked in on my ex-husband and knew I had to leave? And I had to leave in that moment.
Yeah,
I would have had nowhere to go. Granted, I probably could have called a friend at some point, and but that would have been a couch surfing situation. But, I told my mom, hey, I'm probably getting divorced. And do you want to know what she said to me? Let me show you to your room.
Yep.
And she walked into the spare bedroom that they had, and she said, you can bring anything that belongs to you here. I will clean this all out. You can sleep here tonight if you need to.
Yeah.
I'm the adult. I'm the parent.
Yeah.
And just because you turn 18, that doesn't make me any less your parent.
I wish you were my birth mom. All right. Am I overreacting after I found out my boyfriend's online friend group I became a part of 2 years ago has been just him this whole time?
What?
Yeah.
I think I need some context here.
This one I'm going to read the text for first.
Okay.
Poster. I just want to know why. When it finally came time for the Hawaii trip, how are you going to explain that? What were you thinking? Boyfriend. You know something I've noticed about you? You can never just be calm, and there always has to be an issue. I know you were raised in a volatile environment and still have to relearn a lot about healthy relationship dynamics, but it's like you thrive on chaos only. And we were going to see Wicked tonight. Oh, I guess there that goes. Poster. You can't be serious. I deserve answers. I'm honestly so creeped out. Basically, half of my life for the past 2 years has been a complete and total lie, and you were behind all of it. Boyfriend. Okay, don't be dramatic. You know this isn't a big deal. You're just giddy to harp on this and make it a bigger issue.
Holy gaslight, Batman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And here's the post, the body text.
Oh, why do these people exist?
I know. I guess I should have been less oblivious, but since a little before we started dating in 2022, I was added to my boyfriend's, just friend at the time, 3-person Instagram group chat with what he explained were some of his closest online friends. The 2 other accounts seemed like real people because they had real followers and comments on their posts.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and drastically different aesthetics/looks to them. We eventually made a Discord server for us, and that alone was convincing enough since multiple times we'd all be active at the same time.
What the fuck?
Yeah, we never voice chatted, but I used to never voice chat either, so I didn't think twice. The group got closer, though, as more and more time passed since I was first added to their group chat. And last month, we got together and planned a research trip to Hawaii for August. We live on the east coast of the U.S. Like, we booked everything.
Oh, my God.
So imagine my surprise. I'm sorry. First, I just want to say, imagine my shock. Imagine my surprise when I'm over at his house tonight and his computer is open and I just want to log into my Google Docs. When I accidentally stumble across, first of all, follower bot sites and also him logged in and chatting with me as one of the individuals I thought I had become close with and just got this sinking feeling. I didn't jump to the idea that they could be fake either. I was like, maybe he just has their logins since they're all so close, and this is way too interested in their messages. But then I noticed their only chats were the group chats and the server, and the real kicker was the email address it was signed up under was his backup email with his full name.
Oh, shit.
I quite literally snooped until he got out of the shower and caught me, which I'm not saying was right in front of me, but I couldn't help myself. During my snooping, I gradually became devastatingly confident that he wasn't behind just one, but both accounts.
Oh, Jesus.
I've never seen his face so red, and he just absolutely panicked and started shouting at me to get out of his business. I couldn't even form the right words to say to him. In the end, I just walked out of his apartment sobbing. Poor girl.
Oh, my God.
It's very early in the morning. I get that. But this screenshot is what he has to say, and I'm starting to feel crazy. Am I overreacting about my discovery? Bitch, no.
No, you're being gaslit to infinity and beyond here.
Yeah.
This guy is the gaslight Buzz Lightyear. Like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
What was he? Yeah. He said that his first message was like, I understand that you haven't had good relationships. No, because she dates people like your ass.
I know, bitch. What the fuck do you even mean by that?
That is wild. He's like, but it's your fault. But bitch, you did this. But you did.
Yeah.
What the actual fuck?
Mhm.
I just, like, when you do something stupid, you look less stupid when you just say, I did something stupid. But you are not doubling down. You're, like, quadrupling down on, your stupidity. Jesus.
So fucking insane.
Why do these people exist?
Yeah. The top comment, yeah, this is not okay. I'm blown away that this is actually real because what? How could someone do that to you? Your partner of all people. And like he was ever planning on telling you this or just letting it ride out. What does he gain from this? So many things running through my mind, but the most disgusting factor is how he responded to it. And it honestly sounds so manipulative and like he's deflecting instead of owning up to his actions. I'm sorry you're going through this. And yeah, I just want to say this was posted 83 days ago, so this has been going on for almost 3 years.
Jesus Christ. What was he going to do when they got to Hawaii?
I know.
And the other two didn't show up?
Was he going to say that the plane went down and they're being held captive by the Dharma Initiative?
Oh, of course.
Sorry, a little bit of lost for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit of lost humor for you.
You all, everybody.
You all, everybody. Oh, my God. Charlie's my favorite.
All right. Are you ready for my last one? The title doesn't give us much, but we're gonna go places. We're gonna go on a journey, and we're gonna hate every second of it. Strap in. We're going to hell.
Okay.
Am I overreacting for not wanting to go to my friend's house because of her dad? About 3 weeks ago, my 17-year-old best friend's dad hit on me and kept handling me and touching me, and she is 18. He didn't stop trying to buy me a drink until one of my guy friends told him to fuck off. Her dad knew who I was, or at least knew that I knew his daughter, but just didn't give a fuck, and she just won't accept it. This conversation is from today, and it's literally the same conversation every single week since it happened because she's clearly in denial. I kind of feel like I'm overreacting by not going over to her house, and I'm making her feel shitty, but I don't know what to do. Also, her mom and dad aren't together, so him cheating on her mom isn't a thing. All right, here are the texts. So this is the friend. Want to come over to mine Saturday? OP. No, sorry, but you can come to mine if you want. Friend. Girl, you haven't come over in ages. Why? OP. I already explained this. Your dad freaks me out. Friend. What do you mean? OP. Bro, I've explained this so many times. He tried to hit on me when I was out drinking. Friend. Okay, but did he actually? What? OP. Yes, all in caps. Kept grabbing my waist and offering to buy me drinks. I also mentioned you and how I knew you and that I was 18, and he brushed everything off. Kept trying to pull me closer until friend redacted told him to fuck off. Friend, I can't imagine him doing that. OP, your dad is literally almost in his 50s, and I just turned 18 a few months ago. Like, that is fucked. And if you can't acknowledge that and the fact that I don't want to be around him, I don't want to go anywhere near your house.
Bitch.
So is he overreacting?
No. No. In fact, she's underreacting.
Right? Top comment. Throw the whole friend away.
Yeah, for real.
Holy shit. Well, and she, a lot of people were like, why are you still friends with this girl? And she made a comment. She commented in there, and she said, I'm questioning whether I should be friends with her or not, but I've been friends with her so long, and we've been through everything together. And the person who replied back to that fucking sums it up. I hate to put it like this, OP, but I think her response here begs the question, what would it look like for you to go through everything with her if everything included being insulted by her dad? Because I have a feeling not only would it end with you no longer being friends with her anyway, but now you've been through something horrible and lost a friend. I'd rather just lose the friend when what you're describing is not okay.
True that. I couldn't imagine my dad doing that either, and I know my dad would never do that, but if my friend was like, hey, your dad did this to me, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, no.
So I know this enters into well-duh territory, but if you go to your friend and say that her dad is hitting on you, and her response is, well, I can't see him doing that, that girl ain't your friend.
Yeah, and also, nobody wants to see nobody wants to imagine their dad doing that.
Right.
Just because you can't see your dad doing that doesn't mean that he doesn't do that.
Right, because he's not going to be like that with you.
Exactly. And,
you don't know what your dad does when he goes out to bars because he doesn't go out to bars with you, his minor child.
Exactly. And also, a guy... I was at the bar a little while ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and some guy grabbed me. And all my friends were like...
Who's this dead man?
Huh?
Who's this dead man?
And, some guy, grabbed me and was, being super weird to me. And literally every single one of my friends were like, do you want me to kill him? Do you want me to kill him right now in this bar?
What did I just say?
Literally, all of my friends were like, let's all jump him right now.
I just want to talk to him. I
just want to talk to him. That's what friends do.
Right, exactly. Or overprotective mothers. That's what friends are supposed to do. They're supposed to, and granted, I'm assuming that this is in a state where 18 is a legal drinking age. So, the 17-year-old friend couldn't have been there anyway to, witness the bullshit. But, if she had other friends there that were seeing this and telling this guy to fuck off, you have other people saying this happened, and you're still like, well, I can't see my dad doing that. Well, you didn't see your dad doing it, but that doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
Yeah, and, like, again, I know my dad would never do that, but, like, if my friend came to me and was like, hey, your dad did this, I would at least check, you know? Like, I wouldn't immediately be like, no, the fuck he didn't, you know?
Yeah,
like,
right. Another really great quote, and I think a good one to end it on, because this is great advice. Let me tell you, you're going to have so many friends come and go in your life. Many you will go through a lot together, and your friendship may still end in the end for one reason or another. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. You will make many other friends in your life. This one is not worth keeping, and history doesn't matter when it comes to something like this.
Absolutely.
Like that. Brilliant and perfect and sums it up.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. 100%. You know what we should do? We should have the husband from the first story hang out with the dad in the last story, and maybe he'll accidentally shoot him.
Oh, my God, yes. Yes.
Oops, my gun went off. Oh, sorry. Oh, I shot your dick off. That's okay. You probably shouldn't use it anyway. We should do a Reddit video where it's like good, happy stories too. Like we need a levity version.
Yeah, we do.
Like find a happy subreddit that we can dive into.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Say hi to Jake. Tell him to make you noodles.
I will.
All right. I will
right.
talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. I love you.
I love you too.
All right. Bye.
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 Bye.